Worldwide Hippies presents Hippie News and Stuff with Winston Smith and the Worldwide Hippies News Team.
Welcome to Hippie TV News and Stuff for Monday, April 9th. Brought to you by WorldwideHippies.com. News, commentary, entertainment, and education from citizens around the globe. WorldwideHippies.com. Media for the people, by the people. I am Winston Smith. Before I get to the news, I would like to announce that Hippie TV News and Stuff will now be seen twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. We hope you will turn in and turn on to both shows. Top story. Welcome to the New World Order. This from YouTube. Fully nude strip searches of females are being forcibly conducted by male police officers, just like in Abu Ghraib. This is happening in Stark County, Ohio. The women are videotaped and left naked for up to 6 hours. Near the beginning of this video, you can see a black male officer helping this woman off with her panties, while another male officer holds her down. The woman's bra and panties are removed along with all of her clothing, exposing her bare, naked breasts, ass, and vagina in front of the male officers. She is eventually completely stripped and left naked and handcuffed on the floor. All this happened merely because of a 911 call that was placed on this woman, her name is Ms. Hope's behalf when she was hurt. Police officers admit that they really fucked up when they arrested her. So far, 5 other women have come forward with similar strip search experiences at this Ohio jail, but there was no apology for Hope or these other women. Lawlessness and perversion, that is the New World Order. Now, here to strip away the cumbersome fabric of ignorance, it's the Doc.
What's up, Doc?
Buenos dias, hippies, paz en el barrio. Winston, your good health, bugs, yours too. You probably heard about the white supremacists all over the South nowadays puffing themselves up to defend themselves and all white people from what they hotly imagine and I think secretly hope will be assaults by marauding squadrons of black urban gangsters who they anticipate will be prowling white neighborhoods seeking to extract revenge for Trayvon Martin's murder in Florida last month. I think that when white folks nowadays hear or bandy the term race riot, the first thing they imagine are the images from the ghettos or the inner cities of the 60s and 70s, or possibly even more recently the Rodney King incident in Los Angeles. But the harsh realities of history and the truth of the matter is that the numbers and violence of the incidents indicate that the vast, really overwhelming majority of racial violence on these shores has been perpetrated by people who said and thought they were, believed they were, white against others who they believed weren't. During the 19th and 20th centuries, blacks were the most likely group to be lynched, but Italians were second. Still, organized, often state-supported violence against black people is the most common. From Thibodaux, Louisiana in 1880s up until the 1920s all over the South, especially in Oklahoma, a place called Greenwood, to others more numerous to catalog here, white mobs descended upon either small groups or even small individuals, as well as whole black communities, and systematically wiped them out. In Greenwood, Oklahoma, which had previously been regarded as the Black Wall Street until 1921, the governor ordered aircraft in to strafe the fire-gutted ruins after the mob was done. Susan Faludi, a very smart lady and the author of numerous provocative and thoughtful books, argues that, and I think to some extent, to the extent that such a phenomenon actually exists and our stereotypes seem to suggest that it does, the historico-psychological profile of the dominant class male in this country includes a deep and abiding terror of 2 things: slave revolt and Indian raid. They could defend the shores, but they were vulnerable from within to those 2 terrors. In the belligerence of our current supremacists, I think we hear the echoes of those ancient fears. Don't you, hippies? Back to you in Hippie Central, Winston.
Thanks, Doc, for covering us in them golden clothes of knowledge. And this: women as livestock bill passage in Georgia. The Georgia abortion ban is on its way to the governor's desk. Lauren Barbado reports for Miss Magazine blog. After an emotional 14-hour debate that included fistfights between lobbyists and a walkout by women Democrats, the Georgia House passed a Senate-approved bill last Thursday night that criminalizes abortion after 20 weeks. The bill does not contain any rape or incest exemptions. Republican Governor Nathan Deal said that he would be glad to sign it. Commonly referred to as the Women as Livestock Bill, HB 954 garnered national attention this month when State Representative Terry England compared pregnant women to carrying stillborn fetuses to the cows and pigs on his own farm. According to Representative England and his warped thought process, if farmers have to deliver calves, dead or alive, then women carrying a dead fetus, or one not expected to survive, should have to carry it to term. Word to Representative Republican Terry England, try using condoms. You'll have far fewer stillborn cows and pigs down on your farm.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
You don't like Republicans? No Republicans? Say Obama? Obama? No, not him either.
I love you. Now, back to our show.
Sherry is a poet at heart. Her love for peace and politics and her gift of expression have made her a well-loved addition to the Worldwide Hippies team. Her eclectic spirit fuels every article. Sherry says, "It's time for us again to flash the peace sign and mobilize."
Now for some real news reporting is our celestial tornado, Wendy Starr.
Thank you, Winston, and greetings from the Windy City. A Mexican border family is linked with the deaths of 2 young boys and an elderly woman, all of whom were reported missing some time ago. The Mexican family lived in shacks outside of a small town near the U.S. border. The family was so poor that they lived off of government funding and church donations. The killings have set off waves of shock across the copper mining village of Nagosari, which lies across the edge of the Sierra Madre. It has been a long time since these types of ritual killings were last heard about. In fact, they were more predominant in the Dark Ages. These deaths have really gotten people scared. The people who were killed were offered by this Mexican family to Saint Death. The Saint Death is condemned by the Roman Catholic Church, but is gaining popularity amongst Mexicans and Hispanics in the U.S. According to the details provided by the authorities, the killings included 2 10-year-old boys and a 55-year-old woman. The throats and wrists of the victims were cut with axes and knives, and their blood was sprayed over an altar. They were then buried in nearby shacks where the alleged cult members lived. According to a hotel owner, "This is the most peaceful town I know. We've never known such violence." These are senseless and barbaric murders. We should ask ourselves as human beings if these tragedies could have been avoided. Were the 2 young boys and women just victims of lunacy, or the last-ditch efforts of a starving family? With no outside assistance and nowhere else to turn, it's horrific that this family saw no other alternative. This isn't the first time that human sacrifice has been used in desperate measure. Throughout the ages, ritual murder has been a religious and political statement. Human sacrifice can be traced back to ancient China and Japan, Egypt, Africa, everywhere on the map. Instead of shaking our heads at this recent tragedy, we should use our introspection and figure out ways that we can change the future. The fact that one family became so driven with madness from starvation that they were driven to senseless murder is an indication of how this world is in need of help. Next time, we'll take a look at poverty a little closer to home. Winston, back to you.
Thanks, Wendy. Looking forward to your next report. Oh, I hear it's time for the Asshole of the Week. And this week it goes to Knox County Criminal Court Judge Richard Baumgartner and all of his corrupt buddy judges. Last year, Hippie TV News reported that Knox County Criminal Court Judge Richard Baumgartner received a slap on the wrist for being high while on the bench. Judges and prosecutors, as well as state officials, defended the slap on the wrist, saying at the time that he was addicted to prescription drugs and really had committed no major crime. The deal made with other corrupt buddy judges allowed Baumgartner to step down from the bench after pleading guilty in March 2011 to a single count of official misconduct. He was allowed to retire with full benefits. Well, they were all fucking lying. Now a report that Baumgartner may have been high on prescription drugs as well as illegal drugs during most of his career has been released. The Tennessee judge was so addicted to drugs while on the bench he was having sex and buying pills during courtroom breaks, at times purchasing from convicts he had previously sentenced, the investigation found. This time the corrupt drug-addicted sex fiend ex-judge is on his own. The scumbag judges and district attorneys, who were all too happy to cover up and dismiss Knox County Criminal Court Judge Richard Baumgartner's despicable and illegal behavior 8 months ago, find themselves being asked why they allowed him to resign. Their only comments so far: "We didn't know the seriousness of the judge's drug problem." So, for years, this judge is doing hard drugs every day, coercing sex from defendants going before him, as well as illegal drugs, exchanging drugs for verdicts in the courthouse, all the while keeping professional and personal relationships with his corrupt judicial judge buddies. And they didn't know. All of them should rot in prison. But as Hippie TV News and Stuff reported 8 months ago, none will go to jail, none will be charged, and all of them deserve to be worldwide hippies. Assholes of the week. That's it for this Monday, April 9th. Thanks for watching. Please visit worldwidehippies.com for more news, information, entertainment, and education from the people from all over the globe. And if you are interested in working with us here at worldwidehippies.com, you can find out more by contacting Joe at worldwidehippies.com. And please show your support for our citizen media by visiting our store, or make a donation so we can keep up the howl for peace and justice. And you will see us here next Thursday.